We are diving deep into the often underappreciated, truly foundational power of footwork.
Think about it. From the moment you stand up, your feet are doing complex work. Our mission today is to unpack why developing mastery over how you move your feet is arguably the single most crucial physical skill you can cultivate. How it acts as a multiplier for literally every other physical ability you have, and where it shows up in your daily life, often without you even noticing its impact. So let's get straight to it. When we talk about physical prowess or getting in shape, most people immediately think about lifting weights, running miles, building big muscles. Why in the world are we saying the feet, of all things, are the place to start?
Well, because your feet are the absolute foundation for all controlled movement. Every single interaction your body has with the ground, which is most interactions, it starts with your feet.
Okay.
Imagine building a magnificent skyscraper. You wouldn't pour a shaky, uneven slab and then start stacking floors, would you?
No, you need bedrock, a solid foundation, obviously.
Exactly. Your body is that skyscraper. Without stable, adaptable footwork, everything built on your core strength, your explosive power, your balance, your agility, it's all compromised.
Right.
Movement is the first language of the body, you could say, and footwork is its grammar. Before you can execute any complex physical task, your feet must be in the right position, with the right pressure, at the right time. If your base isn't solid, you're fighting uphill.
And you're saying this isn't just for athletes or dancers, this is for everyone.
Absolutely not just for them. This principle is universal.
Yeah.
Every sport, every martial art, every physically demanding job, even just walking and sitting, requires coordinating your body with the ground.
Sure.
And that coordination, at its core, it's about angles, timing, and positioning, all dictated by your feet. You could be incredibly strong, but if your feet aren't setting you up correctly, if you're off balance or at a bad angle, that strength is drastically reduced. You can't fire a cannon from a canoe.
Right. Okay, I get the foundation idea for, structured activities. But let's shift gears. What about when there's no game plan, no choreography? What about in the messy, unpredictable real world?
This is where understanding footwork moves from just a helpful skill to critical readiness. In moments of sudden danger, moments you can't possibly anticipate, you don't have the mental bandwidth to execute a perfectly practiced technique. Your body just needs to react instinctively.
Like, what sort of sudden dangers are we talking about?
Well, think about the fundamental need to immediately remove yourself from harm's way. Someone swings wildly near you, maybe a box slides off a high shelf towards your head,
Yeah.
a car swerves unexpectedly, and you need to move to the curb now. These aren't situations where you can stop and analyze. You need instant, efficient physical evasion.
So footwork is kind of like survival instinct given structure. Is that fair?
Precisely. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's the ability to evade, escape, and instantly reposition yourself with maximum efficiency and minimum thought. It's your first line of defense in the physical world.
Okay.
Consider something as mundane as slipping on ice or, a wet floor. You don't suddenly access your bicep strength to save yourself.
No, definitely not.
What saves you is your body's ingrained ability to quickly adjust your weight, find a new point of balance, and regain stability through rapid, intelligent foot movement.
Right.
People who fall hard and break something often didn't lack strength. They lacked the reflexive footwork needed to catch themselves. That quick adjustment.
The ability to make those lightning-fast micro-adjustments.
Yes, exactly. And good footwork trains that reflexive system. It teaches your body to react in real time, instinctively choosing the best angle or direction to move in a fraction of a second. This is key to avoiding that deer-in-headlights panic freeze.
Yeah, the freeze response.
You train your body to act under pressure rather than lock up.
I can really see that application. It's not just about being able to move, but being able to choose the right movement instantly, almost without conscious thought.
That's the core of it. Whether you're avoiding a clumsy person's outstretched arm in a crowded shop or sidestepping a kid's toy left on the stairs.
Happens all the time.
Or moving through a panicked crowd without getting tangled up, that capability comes from having a responsive, adaptable base. It shows up most powerfully when you need it, often unexpectedly.
Okay, the real-world safety angle is compelling, definitely. But let's talk about where footwork is maybe more obvious in performance. How does this fundamental base translate into elite capability in sports or dance?
Yeah, this is where you see the power of that foundation just amplifying everything else. Watch any truly high-level performer. They don't just possess skill, they move with an efficiency and intention that's, frankly, mesmerizing.
Hmm.
Their footwork isn't just moving them from point A to B, it's the hidden engine driving their specialized abilities. It's subtle, but it's everything.
Give us some specific examples. Like, what does that look like in different domains?
Okay, let's take soccer. When you watch a professional game, it's easy to get fixated on the player with the ball, right?
Sure.
But the real insight is that soccer is fundamentally a game of movement without the ball. Players are constantly adjusting their angles relative to teammates, opponents, and space. Tiny shifts. Okay.
They're making subtle moves to receive a pass, or explosive cuts to create separation, or quick shuffles to deny space on defense. That famous Barcelona tiki-taka style, it's built on constant, precise, small-scale footwork to maintain possession and control space. The ball itself moves because the players' bodies, driven by their feet, control the flow of the game.
That's a great way to put it, controlling the flow through footwork. What about basketball, though? The ball is so central there.
Basketball is just a masterclass in footwork creating opportunity. That incredible ball handling you see. It only works because the players' feet are setting it up, period.
Ah, okay.
You don't create space just by dribbling like crazy. You create it by planting, faking, and exploding off your base. Think about a killer crossover. It's not just about the hands, it's the timing of the fake step, the hard plant on one foot and the explosive push off the other.
Right, the whole body movement. The best players use jab steps, step backs, pivots, not just to move, but to deceive and control distance. And on defense, oh man. Staying in front of a shifty opponent demands incredibly rapid, responsive footwork, shuffling and cutting to mirror their movements. It's what separates being merely fast from being truly unguardable.
It really sounds like the feet are constantly, telling a story the rest of the body acts out.
Exactly. And you see it in sports like American football, too, where movement is often about gaining or denying tiny amounts of space under extreme pressure.
Yeah. How so?
Well, a wide receiver's ability to sell a route and get separation, it's all in the sharp angles and sudden changes in foot cadence.
Here.
Footwork. An offensive lineman's power comes from their base exploding off the snap, maintaining leverage with constant small adjustments of the feet to control their opponent.
Little adjustments, yeah.
Even a quarterback in the pocket, surrounded by chaos, relies on precise footwork to reset their base for a throw or scramble effectively. The milliseconds saved by efficient footwork are the difference between a sack and a completion.
That makes sense. It's not just the big movements, but the constant micro movements, the little things.
Right.
Tennis must be a prime example of that too, right? All that court coverage.
Oh, tennis is perpetual motion built on intelligent footwork. Absolutely. Every single shot really begins with a split step, that little hop that prepares the body to react instantly to where the ball is going.
Right, the ready position.
Then it's rapid adjustment, shuffling, or cutting to get the body perfectly positioned, not just close, perfectly positioned to hit the ball with maximum power and accuracy. And immediately after hitting, it's specific foot patterns, like the crossover step or shuffle to recover back to center court, ready for the opponent's return.
It's constant.
It's an ongoing cycle. Prepare, move, execute, recover, all orchestrated by the feet. The racket's important, sure, but without the footwork to get you there correctly, on time, the racket is basically useless.
Okay, and what about combat sports? That seems like it's all about power and impact. Maybe less finesse.
But that power starts from the ground up, through the feet. Always. In boxing, MMA, wrestling, footwork isn't just about moving around. It's about creating angles to attack, controlling distance, and making yourself an elusive target.
So offense and defense.
Both. Cutting off the cage to trap an opponent, using lateral shuffles to stay just out of range, pivoting to avoid a punch and land your own whirro. These are sophisticated foot skills. Even defensive maneuvers like slipping punches or backing away rely on explosive, precise foot placements to get your head off the line or reset your distance instantly. In fighting, you could argue your feet are simultaneously your first line of attack and your very last line of defense.
Okay, so that covers a lot of sports. What about the grace and rhythm of dance? That feels entirely different somehow.
It's different aesthetically, maybe, but the principle is the same. Control and intention start from the ground. Great dancers don't just move to the rhythm, they move in the rhythm, and that internal timing originates in their connection to the floor through their feet.
Internal timing, okay.
The ability to execute intricate steps, shift weight seamlessly, transition between complex movements with fluidity that requires incredible foot control, precision, and responsiveness. Footwork builds the dancer's connection to the music and their body's ability to translate auditory cues into physical timing.
So it's not just moving limbs.
Not at all. Whether it's the rapid-fire steps of tap, the flowing transitions of ballet, the sharp isolations of hip-hop, or the groundedness of contemporary, mastery begins in the feet. If you can't control your feet, you can't truly control the flow or the timing, and dance is fundamentally built on that synchronized foundation.
Wow. It really does sound like if you improve your footwork, you improve pretty much everything else you do physically, across the board.
That's the core insight. It's the ultimate physical multiplier. It really is.
But let's bring it back again to the everyday person. Someone who isn't training for a title fight or a dance performance. What does putting effort into footwork do for them, like practically?
It unlocks potential you might not even know you have. So many people feel clumsy or uncoordinated simply because they lack an efficient, responsive connection to the ground. Improving your footwork takes your existing balance and transforms it into capability,
How so?
into the ability to generate power when you need it, to move with surprising speed, maybe to recover from being off balance. It's often about being in the right place at the right time to use your strength, not just having more raw strength.
And it seems like there's a confidence aspect to this as well.
Huge, absolutely huge. Movement confidence profoundly impacts how you carry yourself. When you know your body is capable, that you can react, adjust, and move effectively, you project that. You stand taller, feel quicker on your feet, and move with more certainty.
Interesting.
There's even a fascinating idea that simply projecting physical readiness through confident posture, which comes from feeling grounded and balanced, can sometimes de-escalate potential confrontations because you don't appear to be an easy target. You just look more capable.
So it's physical readiness, but also mental and maybe even social readiness.
Absolutely. You feel more capable, and that perception extends outward. It changes how others interact with you and how you interact with the world. And, let's talk about getting in shape, because footwork is an incredibly smart way to approach fitness.
How so? How does doing like footwork drills stack up against hitting the treadmill or the elliptical?
Look, traditional steady-state cardio burns calories, and that's valuable, no doubt. But footwork training is cardio with a tangible skill component. It's not just about burning energy, it's about teaching your body how to move like a coordinated, athletic human being while you burn that energy.
Right.
Why just run in place when you can build practical, real-world capability at the same time?
Okay, sell me on why it beats traditional cardio then. What are the advantages?
All right. First, the practicality is just unmatched. Jogging on a treadmill doesn't directly translate to being able to dodge a falling object or quickly step off a curb when a bike comes flying by. Footwork drills, shuffling, cutting, reacting to cues, changing levels they train movements you actually use in unexpected life situations. You become more adaptable and, frankly, safer.
And I have to admit, jogging for 30 minutes is, well, it's not always the most exciting thing in the world.
Exactly. That's the second point. Engagement. Footwork is skill-based, which keeps your brain much more active. You're not just repeating a motion mindlessly, you're reacting, making decisions about angles and timing, coordinating multiple body parts, changing rhythms.
So it's more mentally stimulating.
Way more. And there are infinite drills and variations. Ladder drills, cone drills, shadow boxing footwork, dance steps, so it never has to get boring or repetitive. It's physically challenging and mentally stimulating.
Does that mean it's actually effective for calorie burn, though? Like, really effective?
Oh, absolutely. Because you're using multiple muscle groups, dynamically bouncing, accelerating, decelerating, changing direction rapidly, these are naturally high-intensity movements. Think short bursts of explosive energy interspersed with quick recovery steps.
Like interval training, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. But more variable and skill-focused. This type of training burns a lot of calories during the session and often leads to a significant post-workout burn, sometimes called EPOC, where your body continues to consume oxygen and thus calories to recover.
So for someone focused on weight loss, let's say, adding footwork drills could make a real difference without maybe changing eating habits drastically.
Definitely. If you know your baseline caloric needs to maintain your weight without exercise, and you start incorporating regular footwork sessions while keeping your eating habits roughly the same, you are automatically creating a caloric deficit.
Right.
You're expending significantly more energy through this dynamic full-body movement. The beauty is, you don't necessarily have to drastically cut food. You just need to move more effectively and train your body to be a more efficient calorie-burning machine through purposeful movement.
That shifts the focus from restriction to capability, which feels better.
It does. And because footwork training is challenging, skill building, and can be genuinely fun, people are far more likely to stick with it long term compared to repetitive, monotonous exercise routines.
That makes sense. Consistency is key.
The result is tangible. You'll likely slim down, yes, but more importantly, you'll move better, feel more physically confident and capable, and you'll just look and feel more athletic.
Okay, so we've talked foundation, survival, performance, general life benefits, fitness. What does all this synthesize into for you listening right now? What's the bottom line?
It means they are, because these critical real-life reflexes aren't abstract fitness goals. They're built capabilities, and they are built most effectively from the ground up through dedicated, smart training focused on your feet and your base.
Wow. It makes you realize that while you might never need, I don't know, the most complex sports skill you could learn, you're absolutely going to need to move effectively in life, potentially to navigate danger, probably every single day.
That's the takeaway, exactly. In those critical split-second moments, avoiding a car, catching yourself on a wet floor, shielding someone, your body will only do what it has been trained to do. There's no time to think.
Right.
Train your feet to be ready for life's unpredictable moments.
Train your feet for life. I like that as the ultimate summary. And you mentioned it can be fun. Like, how would someone even start training their feet? It sounds maybe intimidating.
Not at all. One simple, incredibly effective way to make footwork drills fun and build rhythm and timing is just to do them to music. Pick a beat, any beat you like, and just move your feet.
Like dancing.
Sort of. Shuffle, bounce, tap, step. Just try to stay in time with the music. It builds coordination, works your cardio without feeling like a chore, and connects your movement to rhythm, which is powerful on its own. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just start moving those feet with intention.
Okay, that sounds accessible.
So if footwork is the essential, non-negotiable foundation for virtually every physical capability and readiness for the unpredictable, what does neglecting that foundation truly cost you in your ability to navigate the world effectively and safely?
A powerful thought to leave you with, indeed. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.